Well, good morning, everybody. On this Friday, January the 11th, 2011. Today is the last day of my vacation, and I'm going to try to enjoy it. Probably be tired, but if I lay down and sleep, I won't be able to sleep tonight. And that's my problem. I wasn't able to sleep last night. That's why I'm tired. I laid down about 8:30, and I kept getting up, and I kept getting up to go pee. So the medication that I take sometimes will make me do that, but that's neither here nor there. And the last time I looked at the clock last night, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I finally went off to sleep, and I got back up at 4:30. And by 7 o'clock, I had already gone out and done my grocery shopping and got home and everything else. But so I've still got a couple more things that I want to do today outside the home. But other than that, I'll just be here relaxing, doing nothing, and got all my laundry done, everything I need to do, got all it done. But anyway, now for what's going on in the news. There was a baby. A woman had a baby at a Barnum and Bailey circus. Have you heard about that one? She went to the bathroom and apparently had the baby in the toilet. And I think it was an 8 pound and something baby boy. It was a big baby. And she left him in the toilet, and one of the maintenance workers found him. And the baby is alive. And but she claims that she didn't remember giving birth to that baby, and that she had amnesia. But yet when she left the Barnum and Bailey circus, she went to the hospital to be checked out. So she knew something happened. And plus, when she left the bathroom, they say she went back to her seat. So if she had amnesia, how'd she find her way back to her seat? Anyway. She also claims that she did not know she was pregnant, which on Nancy Grace and them, they're like, well, how can you not know that you're pregnant? It is true. I've known 3 people in my lifetime that have had babies and not known that they were pregnant. One was in Virginia, and one out here was when I first come out here. She, of course, this girl that had the baby was a little on the slow side, but she said she had her baby in the toilet, and she didn't know that she was pregnant. She passed out, and the neighbor had to come over. Her baby died, and then the third person that I know that had a baby and not knew they was pregnant worked where I work at now, and I had seen her the day before she had the baby, and she was like big boned anyway, but I didn't know she was pregnant. You couldn't tell she was pregnant. She wasn't showing. And she had got sick and thought maybe that she had the flu at first, but then her stomach started cramping real bad, and she went to the emergency room, and that's when they told her, you're in labor. So, and needless to say, that baby was spoiled rotten, and that was her 4th child, and she didn't know she was pregnant. Unfortunately, I think before the baby ever turned 2 years old, she died of that's a long story, but she was killed. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So anyway, there's been a man to come forward and say that he thinks he's that baby's father. Well, she's also married, but I think her and her husband were separated. But this guy said he believes he's the baby's father, and then some people say that she can't say that she didn't know that she was pregnant because it's posted on her Facebook. They said somebody had asked her on her Facebook if she was pregnant, and she said, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it. So yeah, I knew she took care of it all right. Anyway, another thing on the news last night was, I can't remember her name, Gary Coleman's wife. You remember Gary Coleman died last year, and I think that same year or the year before that, he was on divorce court. Him and his wife was on divorce court. And I actually felt sorry for Gary Coleman then, because she admitted that they had discussed not having children. He said he didn't want to have children because he said he didn't like kids when he was one. Why would he want to raise one? Which is very honest. And she admitted that after they were married, she decided to go off the pill and try to have a baby anyway. He found out about it, he got pissed about it, and that was the end of that marriage. But anyway, she's back in the news now. They're saying that she claims to be a hoarder. And they showed the inside of her home, and it was just nasty. And they said her bathroom was so nasty that she won't even use her bathroom. She goes to her neighbor's house to use the bathroom. But yet, she lives there. I think her younger brother lives there, and her dad lives there. So you can't. It's not really hoarding, I don't think. Why would 3 people in the same household be hoarders? And looking at the place, I think she's just nasty. There's a difference between hoarding and being nasty. She was nasty. I feel like she's doing it because she wants a reality show. She's out of money that she never really had any money. I don't think Gary Coleman really had anything. And I've always heard that Gary Coleman was a mean little man, but I didn't realize it until they showed a clip from his interview, I think with Diane Sawyer. Not sure if it was Diane Sawyer, but I believe it was. And Diane had asked him something. And of course, you know how they bleep it out, but you know what he was saying. And he told her, he said, go fuck yourself. She said, excuse me? He said, go fuck yourself. And she asked him, she said, is that how you talk to your wife? Do you talk to your wife in that tone? And he said, and he just did his head like this. He said, no, I don't, but I will if I have to. And so somebody had said something else to him, I guess trying to calm him down or something. He's like, well, I don't like her anymore, and all of y'all can go fuck yourself, and I'm out of here. And he walked off the stage. I thought, no wonder Gary Coleman didn't have anything when he died. Nobody would hire him. It's so unprofessional. But some people just never learn about their tempers. Some people just never learn. That gets you nowhere. I used to have a pretty hot temper back in my day, but not anymore. I'm a whole nother person these days. I guess marrying my husband really changed me somewhat, and it's hard to believe he's been gone for 8 years. This will be my 9th Valentine's Day alone without my husband. And I remember every year for Valentine's Day, he would always buy me a long-stemmed red rose and a card for Valentine's Day. And he always bought me stuffed animal too, but I never got the stuffed animal until the day after Valentine's Day when they'd go on sale for 50% off. My husband he wasn't cheap, so to speak. He was frugal, I guess is how you put it. And Joe's the same way. My son is the same way. Exactly the same way. Though, my husband gave me anything I wanted. I never wanted for anything. But he was just frugal at certain things. And my son is the same way. Joe will do anything for me. If it's his last dollar and there's something I want, I would get it. But sometimes I have to tell him, Joe, why don't you buy yourself something? Do this for yourself. Because he's frugal. And, he'll shop around. It be at the store, and he'll look for the cheapest loaf of bread there is. And bread's bread, he'll say. But anyway. And the other thing in the news, I am so sick of hearing about Lindsay Lohan that I could just puke right now. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. She's always doing something wrong. She's always screwing up. And yet, when they have her in court, they're always talking about what she's wearing, how she looks, or they say the judge laid down the law to her this time. He told her, if you mess up again, you're going to jail. How many times has the judge told her that? Each and every time. Where's she at? She's still at home. Why does she do it? Because she knows she can. And it's ridiculous. Yet people talk shit about Charlie Sheen and all that he does, but they always cutting her a break. It makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. If it were you, I, or anybody else, we'd still be sitting downtown. But that, again, is neither here nor there. I think that's about, I'm looking at my crib notes. I'm thinking that's about all that's in the news, and that's about all I got to talk about now. Excuse me. I'll be so glad to get off this medication. It makes me cough and wheeze. I do it more at work than I do here at home. I rarely do it here at home, but at work it's just god awful. Our building is under construction and, renovation. And they've been renovating it now for about a year and a half. And so they're just now made their way back to our department. They are actually in my department. And so not sure where all we got in that building, but I'm sure we got some wicked stuff in there. I know when I was in the hospital in January of 2010 when I had my heart attack, and then they said that I also had a strange pneumonia, and they asked me if I had been around any mold. And so I told my supervisor, I said, he wanted to know if I'd been around any mold. She said, I know for a fact there's mold in that building. So, and they were renovating in, so I feel sure that's what the problem was, and that's probably what's wrong with me now. Anyway, I'm going to get off here now and get this uploaded so I can piddle and enjoy the last day of my vacation, and until next time, bye-bye.